friends, this is Beth here, your friendly neighborhood tour guide. I am back in the park. This time I'm at the sort of the mid-section of the park, around 72nd Street-ish, and I am standing here in front of the Central Park Boathouse. As you can see, this is one of the park's major attractions. Many people come here to enjoy either a quick meal at the snack bar that's around the corner over here, around the corner, or they come for a full meal with wait service and full bar and everything else, and it's a really nice place to have a meal, and I'll show you a little bit more of the other side and you can see why. It's a really pleasant setting to eat. So a little bit about the boathouse. It's officially called the Loeb Boathouse because it was built in 1954 using funds donated by the Loeb family. And one of the nice things about this Boathouse Cafe here is outside you can see there are bathrooms here. This is a very important thing for park visitors, of the bathrooms. So these are the bathrooms outside, and obviously they're closed now because of our pandemic situation, but they are open usually for use of the public. And here is a secret for you visitors. There are obviously restrooms inside the Boathouse Cafe as well, but because this is a public park building, anybody can come in and use these bathrooms. So they are a lot cleaner and nicer than the outdoor bathrooms because they don't get as much use because people don't realize. So now you know, if you're ever on the east side of the park and you need a place to stop, this is a good spot to do so. So another thing about this boathouse, I'll start walking here, is that this, obviously I said this was built in 1954. There was a boathouse that preceded this one that was situated just about, oh, sorry for the wind, it's a very windy day today. So the original boathouse was situated just about over here. Just to the left of our new boathouse, and that was built by Calvert Vaux, and it was a lovely wooden Victorian structure that of course was taken down and replaced with a more modern structure. And it's, you know, it's a little unfortunate because I personally love the old architecture and, you know, the kind of structures that sort of fit into the era in which the park was created. But it is what it is. And moving over here, you can see this is the back side of the boathouse, and there are tables all along these windows. So when you have a meal, you can look out over the lake, which is really great way to have a meal. And you can see the west side over there, and obviously you can also see these rowboats here, and these rowboats are for rent during open times, and the sign here says that you can rent a rowboat for $15, and then they want a deposit of $20. Not sure why. It's not like you're gonna walk out of the park with a boat. Maybe they must have had some sort of damage in the past and they want a deposit. So it's $35 for an hour, and you get your deposit back when you return the boat. And on regular, beautiful, sunny, warm days, the lake is just packed with boats, people in rowboats doing their thing. So I guess one other thing I can mention to you is there used to be, well, back in the first boathouse days, there was a boat, a larger boat that you could hop on and hop off all over the lake, and it cost you 10 cents, which was kind of a lot of money in the 19th century. So it's not something that everybody could do, but you could go all the way around the lake on a boat and just kind of hop on and hop off whenever you wanted. So that's kind of cool. And there's also, I don't see it here, but there is also a gondola. There was a gondola back in the 19th century, and we do still currently have a gondola. And that guy, I think you have to contact specifically and request a time to be taken out in that type of vessel. That is our boathouse story. Okay, so post boathouse, I decided to come over here. It was about I don't know, about a 3-minute walk from the boathouse, and you might even be able to see it, the boathouse, kind of through the trees here. It's got the green roof, but I came over here because this is one of our really beautiful spots in the springtime. This is Pilgrim Hill, because of the pilgrim that we're looking at here, and this pilgrim is surrounded by these fantastic cherry trees, these ornamental cherry trees. I believe that these are called Yoshino cherries, and it's one of two primary ornamental cherry trees we have in the park. The other type of cherry that we have is the Kwanzan cherry. That's right. So the Yoshinas come out earlier than the Kwanzans, and they have the white blossoms. And later on, well, typically in May, but I don't know, spring's been pretty early this year, so maybe a little bit, maybe later this month in April, we'll see the Kwanzans start to bloom. And those are pink. Those are really kind of bright pink and fantastic. And the Yoshinos were first brought to the park, and I think to the city as well, in 1912 by Japan, of where, of course, these are native trees in Japan. So these are really, really gorgeous trees. And I made a special trip out here today to make sure I caught them while they were still in bloom. It's windy, as I mentioned before, and it's a little chilly, but I wanted to be sure that I got here before the blooms fell completely off the trees. So these are I just love this spot over here. Another one over there. And by the way, we're looking at those buildings over there are on 5th Avenue. So we are now just about at the east side of the park. This little road here would be the entrance to the park from 5th, and then it's joining the main park drive. So this is called East Drive over here. And again, remember, all of these drives were built for carriages to travel. That road over there, that's the 72nd Street crossover. I think the Central Park Conservancy renamed it Vox and Olmsted Way, but nobody ever calls it that. So back here, another thing I wanted to talk about was a statue. This is a pilgrim, and this spot that we're standing on is called Pilgrim Hill for obvious reasons. And this one is, this one's kind of important in the world of art, because he was sculpted by a famous sculptor named John Quincy Adams Ward. And Ward has a couple of other statues here in the park. We've got Shakespeare down at the bottom of the mall, and we also have the Indian Hunter, which is a Native American with his dog. That's off to the side of the mall. And then possibly his most famous work is the statue of George Washington that is located at the Federal Hall Memorial down on Wall Street, and that was the site of his original inauguration. So Ward he's a pretty important figure in the world of art, and so we're lucky we have a bunch of these here in the park. So this was donated by the New England Society of New York in 1885, and that's the thing about statues in the park. Olmsted and Vox did not want man-made structures in the park like statues, but by the time it got to the 1860s or so, there were all different competing societies that wanted to honor their respective members. So we have Shakespeare, we've got Columbus that was donated by the Italian Society. things like that. So here's from the New England Society, and you know, actually then we have Alexander von Humboldt. He's the subject of a different video, and he was donated by the Germans. So they kind of couldn't beat the prevailing opinions, and they eventually the statue started showing up in the park. So kind of cool thing about, oh, it's cool, it's kind of interesting. Each side here has a different item that was important supposedly to pilgrims. So here we have our Bible with a sword through it, which is kind of interesting. Over here, this is the world, which I would assume, yes, and it looks like a sextant, so that would signify ocean-going activities, which brought them here. Oh, here's another. Got an ocean-going sailing ship. And what's our last one? Kind of shaded over here. Ah, yes. This one's kind of difficult to see. I can't see it really, but it's a quiver of arrows. And I guess that would, you know, that would be associated with the Native Americans who supposedly helped us out, helped the Pilgrims out when they first arrived here in the New World. So this is a good hill for sledding in the winter. We had barely any snow this year, unfortunately, so there wasn't a whole lot of sledding going on. But it is now spring. It is beautiful. Look at this canopy. I just can't. It's just so lovely. So that's what I wanted to show you here. Some more beauty in the midst of maybe not so happy times. But let's say that, you know, spring comes again, the blossoms come again, and good times will come again. So I hope that will be soon, and I hope that everyone out there is staying safe and healthy and taking care of themselves, and I wish everybody a lovely, good day. Bye for now. Thanks for taking this walk with me. Please comment below if there's anything you'd like me to cover in the park or in New York, and if you'd like the video, please click the thumbs up button also below.